Okay. So try to support the outer thighs so that the legs can just be pretty passive. And then you can throw one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, if that just helps to bring your awareness a little bit more to your physical body, to your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes or just steady your gaze. And as you arrive on your mat here, just start to notice physically where there might be unconscious tension through your body. Maybe you hold it in your shoulders or your jaw. Use your next few exhales to give yourself permission to let go of tension that feels unnecessary. Notice where your thoughts are. End of your weekend. Maybe they're already moving on to the week. Just notice those little things that you maybe say or tell yourself. And then see if you can start to shift your mind's eye to your breath. Invite a constriction into the back, the base of your throat. Let your lips gently seal together. And even see how it feels to press the tip of your tongue to where the upper gum line meets your upper teeth. See if that helps to relax the muscles of your jaw as you start to find more of this ujjayi breath. So start to feel the movement of your breath. Can you feel the expansion on your inhale, your abdomen, your ribs broadening? And can you feel the subtle whisper of your exhale as your ribs soften, your abdomen hollows? And see if you can just really start to focus on creating a length, a depth to your breath to move you through your class today. Can you find an equal inhale with an equal exhale? Match the two breaths. And just like we practiced, your practice is going to be focusing on starting to awaken the glutes and creating a little bit of mobility through the inner hips, through the front of the hips. And this practice might help you spark some creativity. So have fun with it. No judgment. Just explore movement more than anything. So take 2 more of your smooth breath. When you finish your next exhale, just start to create a bit of movement. Wiggle through your fingertips. You can give your wrists a little roll. You can go ahead and straighten out your legs nice and long. The option to interlace your hands and reach your arms overhead. It always feels nice to take a big stretch as you inhale. And then as you exhale, just bring your arms to your sides. Bend your knees, and we're going to start the kind of intro preparations part of practice. So feet on the mat about hip-width distance, and we're going to start with bridge pose. Okay, so feel rooted through all 4 corners of both of your feet. Try to notice if you tend to spend time on the outer or inner edges or front or back. Try to root all 4 corners as if your feet had 4 corners. And then bend your elbows so your triceps are just resting down on the mat. Fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling. Okay, as you exhale, Press your low back down into your mat so your tailbone starts to point up towards the ceiling. And then just go ahead, lead with that length, lift your hips, and pause when you can't lift them any higher or before there becomes too much tension in the low back. Okay, so right away, the focus is going to be on the glutes. So bring your awareness back to your feet, root down through all four corners, and start to press into your feet as if you're pressing your feet through the floor. As you do that, can you feel your glutes maybe fire up a little bit more? Maybe you feel like your tailbone is reaching towards your knees as you think of dragging your heels towards your hips. From here, take one more inhale. See if you can find a bit more lift and length without straining. And then really slow and controlled, as you exhale, lower your hips just to graze the mat. Okay, with breath, inhale, press, drive your feet down, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower all the way back down. A few more like this. Inhale, press, lift up, engaging your glutes without gripping your toes. Okay, lower back down slowly. Last time, go ahead, lift up. This time, hold. Okay, so option here, you either stay or shift your weight into your right leg. Lift your left heel. You can stay there. Or else you can bring your left knee in towards your chest and just hold. Try not to let your hips drop. If they have, maybe you bring your left foot back down to the mat. You take one more breath in wherever you are, equal weight in your right foot. Lower your left foot down. Start to shift your weight into your left leg without letting the hips drop. Maybe you lift the right heel or maybe you bring your right knee in towards your chest. Keep driving your left foot down, lengthening your tailbone towards your knees to keep some length in the low back. You take one more breath in. Lower your right foot down to your mat. Pause, equal weight in both feet. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower all the way back down to the mat. Go ahead, you can hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take any movement here. And then grab the backs of your legs, tuck your chin round your spine, and start to rock your way up to tabletop, to your hands and your knees. All right. I can hear you guys. No.
It's the dog.
Yeah, blame it on the dog. Okay, so from your hands and your knees, you bring your hands underneath your shoulders. So wake up your hands. See if you can get really rooted through the knuckles, the fingertips. You find a neutral spine, so draw your low ribs in. Keep your shoulders and chest broad. Nothing moves, just extend your right leg towards the back of the room. Okay. So see if you can level off your pelvis, and we're trying to find that same engagement that we felt in bridge pose. Okay, you can either stay here, or as you inhale, start to open your right leg out to the right. And as you exhale, bring it across your body all the way towards the left, as if you were trying to kind of kick the person to your left. Inhale, open to the right. The slower you go, the more you're going to awaken a little bit deeper through the hips. As you exhale, bring it back over towards the left. So I'm not going to cue with the breath. Take two more and see if you can just explore the ranges that maybe feel like they're a little bit more work. Maybe feel like you're not as strong. So try to find a bit of comfort in that feeling of discomfort. Last breath, wherever you are. And bring your right knee back towards your mat. And just go ahead, take a quick child's pose, knees wide, hips to your heels. You can tent up your fingertips so that you give your wrists a little bit of a breather here. And then press into your hands. Inhale, come back up to tabletop. Set your core as you exhale. So think of your back of your head still in line with the back of your pelvis here. And go ahead, extend your left leg. Okay. And just make note. Notice if your left hip kind of lifted up. See if you can square your hips towards your mat. Take an inhale. Start to open your left leg out to the left. Same movement as you exhale. Bring your leg over towards your right. So keep exploring that movement and just notice little things. Notice if you're kind of lose connection to the core. See if you can keep everything really still, just the leg moving. Feeling the muscles of the glutes activate at different angles. You try to take 2 more and challenge yourself. Can you maybe go a little bit further than you did on the last one? Okay, next time, come back through center and lower your left knee down. One last little child's pose. Lift the heels of your hands so you're on your fingertips as you reach back. Take a full, broad breath in. And come back to your breath out. So control your breath. Come back to your Ujjayi breath here. Press into your hands. Come up to tabletop as you inhale. Tuck your toes. Take downward facing dog as you exhale. And just enjoy your first down dog here. You can pedal it out. Okay, take the movement you like to take. And then eventually settle into a still down dog. So really press the floor away from you right away. Wake up the muscles that support the joints of your arms and legs. But let your head and neck go. Okay, steady your gaze. Take a full inhale in here. Feel your low belly lift as you exhale. Lift your heels. Inhale, come high to your tippy toes. As you exhale, look forward, tiptoe your way to the top of your mat. As you arrive, bring your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift, reach your chest forward with your inhale. Bend your knees as much as you need, round with your exhale. And inhale, rise up, reach up to the ceiling, look up to your hands. Tadasana as you exhale, arms to your sides. Okay, so we'll start our sun salutations here. Inhale, reach up, look up. Fold, exhale, empty your lungs. Inhale, chest forward, find a long spine. Plant your hands, step back into plank as you breathe out. You take a full inhale in plank. Listen carefully as you exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Always option to lower the knees first. And from here, bring your forehead to the back of your hands. So stack your hands so your forehead's on the hands. Firm your glutes. And then just listen carefully. So with that length in your back, inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right leg over towards the right. So just like we did in tabletop. Just bring the leg back to center as you inhale. Lower it down as you exhale. Okay, left side, inhale, lift your left leg. Keep it hovering. Exhale, bring it, kick it to the left. Back to center as you inhale. Lower the leg as you exhale. Slide your hands to your low ribs. Inhale, press up through tabletop or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. So that's a little variation of Sun A. Take 3 breaths in your down dog. Focus your gaze. Can you press into your hands and feet a little bit more so that you feel your spine even lengthening, your tailbone reaching up towards the ceiling? Empty your next exhale. Lift your heels as you inhale. Look forward, step to your hands, breathe out. Strong legs, inhale, chest forward. Fold, exhale, let your head go, even look to your belly button. Good. Rise, inhale, arms sweep up, gaze looks up. Tadasana, arms to your sides, exhale. Okay, one more just like that. Inhale, reach up, press into your feet. Fold, empty your lungs. Move with your breath, halfway lift, inhale. Step back to plank as you exhale. Full breath in together, feel your chest broad. Lower with a broad chest all the way to the belly. Forehead on the back of your hands, glutes firm. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, open your right leg out to the right. Activate your glute, back to center, breathe in. Lower it down, breathe out. Lift your left leg, inhale. Left leg out to the left. Try not to move the hips here, just the leg. Back to center, inhale. Lower it as you exhale. Hands to your low ribs, press up to plank, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Again, 3 breath here. Smooth out your breath. Slow it down. And lift your heels. Inhale. Look forward. Step to the top of your mat. Exhale. Heart forward. Breathe in. Fold and round. Breathe out. Inhale. Reach up to the ceiling. Can you get as tall as you've been all day? Arms to your sides. Let your shoulders go. Let tension go here. And bring your big toes to touch today. Bend your knees. Utkatasana. Arms forward and up. Inhale. Fold. Exhale. Hinge. And heart forward. Inhale. Long spine. Step back to plank as you exhale. Full inhale and plank. Lower all the way to your belly as you exhale. Okay, cobra, tops of the feet pressed, chest lifts as you inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale, empty. Lift your right leg, inhale. Try to keep your hips square. Step your right foot to your right thumb as you exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Rise up and pause. As you exhale, bring your left knee just to a hover. Inhale, reach back up. One more time, exhale to a hover. Press back up, drive your right foot down, inhale. Hands to your mat as you exhale. Step back to plank, breathe in. If you like, you can lower into half push-up or else continue to lower to your belly as you exhale. Cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, straighten the arms, lift the thighs. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Lift your left leg, inhale. Step your left foot to your left thumb as you exhale. Squeeze your inner thighs, rise up, reach to the ceiling. As you exhale, lower your right knee to a hover. Nice and slow, inhale, rise up. Last time, back to your hover, right knee hovers. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Hands to the mat as you exhale. Step back to plank, breathe in. Lower, exhale. Your choice of back bend, up dog or cobra. Inhale, firm your thighs. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 3 breaths to slow down your heartbeat here. You stay active to your arms and legs by pressing them firm into your mat. All right, lift your heels, inhale. Look where you want to go. Step, pop, get to your hands. Inhale, chest forward, get long to your spine. Fold, exhale, round. Your feet can be about hip-width distance. Bend your knees right into chair pose, Utkatasana, arms up. Okay, hold here. See if you can sit a little bit lower. Start by bringing your right knee in towards your chest. Cross your right ankle over your right thigh for funky chair. If you need, arms can reach forward or hands to your hips. We'll spend a few breaths here. So steady your gaze to find your balance. Enjoy a little opening into your right hip. Now from here, straighten your left leg. Place your right foot down. Arms can reach up. Bring your left knee up to 90. Inhale. Toppling tree as you exhale. Arms back. Okay, so we moved on to standing part 1. Settle into toppling tree. See if, like tabletop, you can find that same squaring of your hips. And then can you lift your left leg a little bit higher today? Really fire up your left glute. Okay, take one more breath in here. Lift it a little higher if you can. And then just soften your right knee. Step your left foot back, crescent lunge. Try to find your balance. Okay, once you're there, inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to your hips as you exhale. Straighten your right leg and step your left foot in a little closer. Set up for pyramid. Okay, so feet about hip width distance. Try to keep your hips facing forward as you lift your chest, lean back, breathe in. Take your time, start to hinge over your right leg as you breathe out. Okay, pause when you feel like you can't hinge any further without lowering your hands. Okay, so give a little hug of your right hip back. Become aware of where the weight is in your feet. Equal all 4 corners and press firm through both feet. Okay, today, bring your block on the highest setting. Your left hand on your block under your left shoulder. Right hand to the small of your low back or your sacrum. Okay, inhale, find a bit more length through your spine. Reach the crown of your head forward. As you exhale, twist your chest open towards your right. Okay, try to keep the length in your low back and try to keep your right foot driving down and your right hip hugging back as you twist. Okay, take an inhale to find a bit more length and a sharper exhale to help you with your twist as your obliques engage. Okay, wake up both legs again. Okay, and then express your gaze. Look to where you feel you're opening up to without cranking your neck. Option to reach the arm with it. Okay, hold here for one more breath in. Stay and enjoy the pose if you can for your breath out. Okay, look down. You can bend your front knee and place your right hand to your mat and your left hand to your mat. Step your left foot a little further back. So we're going to come into 3-legged dog. So with both hands planted, sweep your right leg up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Right leg's lifted. Bend your right knee, open your right hip up. 3-legged down dog. Either stay here or if you want to, wild thing, you can flip your dog, landing your right foot down. See if you can, just like bridge pose, firm your glutes, feel the length in the low back as you open the front of your pelvis. Find your breath, last inhale here as you reach. Look down, plant your right hand back to 3-legged down dog, right leg up to the ceiling. Inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Inhale, pull forward through to plank. Exhale, lower all the way onto your belly. So we're kind of modifying our flow here. Reach back, locust, lift your chest, your legs, your arms. And then just take a few extra breaths. Focus on finding a bit of length. Reach through the crown of the head, reach through the toes. And if it's there with your next exhale, find a bit more lift. Lift the legs, lift the chest. And slowly lower down, hands back to the mat. Press up to tabletop as you inhale. Child's pose as you exhale. Just a breath in child's pose. Enjoy the break. If you need to stay a few extra, stay, or else come back to tabletop as you inhale. Take downward facing dog as you exhale. Notice even the difference, right versus left after doing the first side. Okay, from here, come high to your tippy toes. Inhale. Look where you want to go. Travel to your hands as you exhale. Feet can stay about hip width. Heart forward. Breathe in. Fold and round. Breathe out. Bend your knees. Chair pose as you inhale. Stay. Sit low as you exhale. And this time, bring your left ankle across your right thigh. Funky chair. The more you reach your hips back, the more you might feel the stretch through the outer left hip and glute. And sometimes you can flex the left ankle to feel a little more stability through the left knee. That can help. Final breath here. Start to straighten the right leg as you place your left foot down. Reach your right knee up, arms up. Inhale. Toppling tree, exhale, arms back, right leg back. Square your hips to your mat. Find your breath. And can you lift your right leg a little bit higher without back bending? So see if you can keep the low ribs firm and just activating the right glute to lift the leg a little higher. Think of your inner right thigh spiraling up towards the ceiling, your outer hip rolling towards the mat. Last breath as we hold here, a little bit longer today. With awareness, bend your left knee, step your right foot back, crescent lunge, inhale, reach up. Hands to your hips as you exhale. And then straighten the left leg. Step your right foot forward a little bit, so pyramid pose, your whole back foot's grounded. Lift your chest, lean back as you inhale. Keep that length through your front body, hinge forward over your left leg as you exhale. Okay, so give the hips a little steer. Think of a little hook of the left hip back. You find your breath first here. And once you feel ready, you can take a block probably to the taller setting if your hamstrings are a little tight today. So right hand under the right shoulder. You can go ahead, find length with your breath in first. So really reach through the spine and then revolve left side or open to the left. You really try to keep the left hip hugging up and back as the crown of your head reaches forward with each inhale. Each exhale is an opportunity to use your core, your obliques, to help you twist. So you might feel like the twist kind of happens above the belly button, through the ribs. Express your gaze, option to reach the left arm with the shoulder. And this is where you might come back to the thoughts you're telling yourself. You try to find a bit of balance of ease here. Last breath. Look down to your mat. Bend your left knee so that you can plant your hands. Step your left foot back a little bit further. Okay, sweep your left leg up to the ceiling. Three-legged down dog. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your left knee, open the left hip up. So this might be nice where you want to stay today, a nice place. Or else if you want, wild thing, flip your dog, plant your left foot. Good. So you can be on your left tippy toes. Right foot might be planted and really reach with the left fingertips. More than anything, use your glutes. You find more hip extension, more length in the low back for one more breath. Good. Look down, plant your left hand, three-legged down dog, left leg up to the ceiling with your inhale. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale, pull yourself forward through to plank. Lower all the way onto your belly as you breathe out. Locust, lift your chest, lift your legs, inhale. Lower as you exhale, hands beside you. Tabletop, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Rest is there if you need. You guys are doing great. Lift your right leg, inhale. Step your right foot to your right thumb as you exhale. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. So line your front knee up with your front toes and really think today of the opening of the inner thigh and like you're pressing your right outer thigh into your right hand. It's a little bit of that outer hip strength. Take one more breath in here. Okay, see if you can settle in with your breath out. Keep both legs active. Straighten your front leg, reach up to the ceiling. Inhale. Return to your lunge, so keep that knee tracking as you exhale. Just one more time. Inhale, reach up, get really long to your side body. Warrior two as you breathe out. Reverse your warrior, right arm up to the ceiling. Inhale. Extended side angle as you exhale. Right elbow, right thigh. Left arm can reach overhead. So get strong into your back leg. And see if you can use the stability of your back leg to help turn your ribs open a little bit more. And as the ribs turn open, do you notice if your front knee caves in a little bit? Keep the strength of your outer right hip and glute, keeping the knee tracking forward. You find your depth. Take one final breath here, maybe feeling the chest open a little bit more. And then keep your front knee bent. Inhale, come back up. Stay in your warrior two as you breathe out. Bring your hands onto your hips. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes to face your left. Okay, from here, look at your left toes. Angle your left toes a little bit to the left as you side lunge. So you're just lunging so that your left knee still points with your left toes. Okay, from here, you can either use your hands to the mat to help you walk over, or no hands, lunge over to your right. Angle the toes as you need. Okay, we'll go one more each side. Side lunge back to the left. Feel a nice stretch through the inner thigh. Side lunge to your right. Good, you guys. And then find yourself in center. Bend your knees. Toes point out. Knees point with your toes. Goddess pose. Option to cactus the arms. Okay. Now from here, bring your hands to the outer parts of your knees and thighs. Press your thighs into your hands and your hands into your thighs. See if you can find a bit of resistance in external rotation. Keep that and then cactus the arms again. Sit a little lower for one last breath if you can. Good. And then straighten the legs, point the toes forward, reach up, inhale. Forward fold as you exhale, just land the hands under your shoulders. You take one breath in here to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, walk your hands to the top of your mat for lizard. So heel toe your right foot nice and wide. Lower your left knee down, cushion it if you need. All right, so here is the option if you like to roll out to the outer edge of the front foot, you're welcome to. And you just kind of want the knee and toes usually pointing in the same direction together. Sometimes if you lean a bit more weight to the right, you might feel the stretch through your inner right thigh a bit more. Okay, so feel it out. You can always stay here if this is really good. You can always go to the elbows. Okay, all the options today in this one we decided, or else you can take your left hand to a block or your mat, right hand to your right thigh, and twist to your right. And try not to let the eyes get busy in this one. Sometimes when the eyes get busy, the mind gets busy, so close your eyes if you need to. Come back to about 3 more breaths. If you want the quad stretch, bend your back knee, and grab the back foot. Final breath here. If you have your back foot, gently release. Heel toe your right foot back to the middle of your mat. So frame your right foot with your hands. Lift your back knee, get strong to your back leg. Inhale, 3-legged down dog. Right leg sweeps back up to the ceiling. Bend your right knee, open your right hip up. Either stay or second chance for wild thing. Right foot can plant. Little bit of a back bend. If you want, both feet can plant, so you're in a little bit more of a back bend. All I care about is the glutes awake and the feet firm and pressing. Last breath. Good. Look down if you're flipped. Plant your right hand, right leg up to the ceiling as you inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. We're going to skip the flow. Instead, lift your left leg. Inhale. Do the left side. Step your left foot to the left thumb as you exhale. Inhale, ride your breath up. Crescent lunge. Good. Warrior 2. Exhale, open up. Okay, so settle into your warrior 2. Make some little adjustments. Firm through both feet. And then awake through the outer left side of the leg. Okay, use your next exhale to find your depth. Straighten your left leg. Reach both arms to the ceiling. Inhale. Come back to your lunge as you exhale. Last time, straighten, reach up. Enjoy the side body stretch. Back to your warrior 2. Exhale. Keep your front knee bent. Reverse your warrior. Left arm up. Inhale. Extended side angle as you exhale. Left elbow to your left thigh. Right arm can reach forward. Okay, so even just peek down at your left knee. Notice if it kind of caved in on you. And then really get strong to the back leg. Okay, see if you can turn the ribs open a little bit more. You might feel the stretch through the front of the right hip flexors, some of the front core muscles. And then what can you do to slow your breath down here for 2 more? And keep with your lunge. Inhale back to your warrior 2. Stay for your exhale. Good, you guys, hands to your hips. Straighten your left leg. Left toes point to your right. Okay, from here, look at your right foot. Turn your right toes out. Side lunge into the right leg. If you want a challenge for the legs, try to keep your hips low as you switch over to the left. So it's like your hips and knees are in one kind of level plane as you shift. Okay, over to the right. Last time, over to the left. And then settle yourself somewhere in center. Heels in, toes out. Goddess pose, part 2. Okay, so think again of using your resistance to activate your outer thighs and glutes a bit more. You lift your right heel so you're on your right tippy toes. Lower your right heel, lift your left heel so you're on your left tippy toes. Lower. Option to try to lift both heels, finding a bit of balance here. Good, you guys. And then lower your heels down, straighten your legs, hands to your hips. Lift your chest, breathe in. Just a little forward fold here as you hinge, hands under your shoulders. And keep your spine long and start to walk your hands towards your left foot. Lizard. So left foot wide, right knee can land. You decide how wide you like to have the left foot. Maybe you do like to be somebody on the pinky side of your left foot. Okay. Even if you're not usually used to doing that, just try it out, see how it feels. You can always stay, or you can lower to your forearms, use your props. If you want to take the twist today, left hand to your left thigh, rotate to your left. And if you feel restricted in your twist, you can always try a block under your right hand. Last option, quad stretch. You guys all know the drill. Let's take 3 breaths here and just enjoy this more supportive posture. If you have your foot, release. Everyone look down. Heel toe your left foot back in between your hands. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee. Keep your chest reaching forward as you inhale. Okay, and then slide your left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your left knee, open your left hip up. Okay, last option for your last little back bend. You can flip your dog into wild thing. Or you can try planting both feet. And try to recall your active bridge pose one last time. You take one last breath in as you open the front body and wake up the back body. And then look down, plant your left hand. Left leg sweeps back up to the ceiling as you inhale. Lower your left foot down as you exhale. From here, inhale, pull yourself forward through to plank. Exhale, lower all the way onto your belly. From your belly, locust. Firm your glutes, lift your chest, your legs, your arms. And then we're going to hold here this time, so find your breath. If it's rapid, try to control it, or maybe you just back out a little bit. And then from here, can you lift your right leg a little bit higher? And your left leg to meet it. Final inhale. Lower as you exhale. Bring your right ear down and just look over your left shoulder. Take a bit of a rest. All right, and then gaze can be back to center. This time arms can reach back and bend your knees. So we're going to go for like a skydiver kind of pose here. So you can flex your ankles if you want, like you're holding up the ceiling. And then see if you notice the front of your pelvis lifting away from the mat at all. Engage your glutes. So generate that length in the low back and a bit of that posterior tilt for your back bend. Okay, when you're ready, start to press your feet up towards the ceiling. Okay, it might not be much, the thighs might not lift much, and then go ahead, add in the chest, reach the arms back. So it's almost as if you were coming back into like a boat pose. You're using all muscle here. Okay, try to keep the inner thighs reaching up. And take one more breath in, maybe a bit of shakiness. And then lower slow. You can gaze over your right shoulder. Just take rest again. Find your breath. Great, and then just bring your gaze back to neutral. Hands beside your low ribs. Okay, press yourself up to tabletop as you inhale. Hero's pose. Walk your knees behind your wrists. If there's any quad stretch variations you like, you're welcome to take them. Or else go ahead, lean back onto your hands. Give your tailbone a good little tuck under. Let your hips rest down. If you know you can go back, but not all the way to the mat, take your blocks, throw one under your shoulders and one under your head. I'm just trying to avoid any pinching or uncomfortable sensation in the low back. If that happens, then just back out a little bit. And keep it a little active today. Press down through your shins. Keep the little tone to the glutes. And just enjoy a really nice front body opener. And let's take about 3 more breaths here. Okay, so if you guys are all the way back, reach towards your ankles, press up to your hands. Okay, good. There's Shelly. I thought Shelly disappeared. I couldn't see her. All right, you guys, come to your hands and just pedal it out. So feel good to have a bit of blood flow through the knees. You can extend one heel back and the other. And then eventually make your way back into downward facing dog. Okay, so use this down dog to just bring a bit of life back to your breath. Return to your Ujjayi breath if you've lost it. Use your exhale to feel your low belly hollow. And then press firmer through your hands. Wake up your arms and legs. Come high to your toes as you inhale. Look forward. Travel to your hands as you exhale. Keep your feet pressing. Long spine. Breathe in. Fold over your legs. Breathe out. Let your head go. Inhale. Reach up to the ceiling. Get really tall. Tadasana as you exhale. Arms to your sides. Okay, now bring your hands onto your hips. Keep your right foot glued down and bring your left knee to 90. Okay, so we're just going to keep it pretty simple today for one more balancing pose. All right, so when you're ready here, keep your hands on your hips and just hinge back into toppling tree. Okay, so this toppling tree, I'm not really concerned about how high your left leg is lifted. We're going to focus on the stability of your right leg. Okay, so find your balance. As you inhale, start to open your pelvis up towards the left, as if you were coming into like a half moon pose almost. And then as you exhale with control, square your hips back off to your mat. So we're just practicing a little bit of this abduction, opening the hips towards the left, and then square your hips back off to your mat. So you should start to feel a bit of work through the stabilizers in the outer right hip. See if you can just do that a couple more times. Not really concerned with quantity, more the quality. The slower, the more you might start to feel. Now keep your right foot leg strong. Bring your left foot to the mat and just stand tall in Tadasana. See if you can avoid fidgeting and instead just feel the work around the right side versus the left. All right, and then hands can return to your hips. And keep your left foot driving down through all four corners. Bring your right knee up to 90. Take an inhale. You can use your exhale to hinge into a little modified toppling tree. So again, the focus is on the standing leg. Start to explore this movement. Open your hips up towards the right. So think of your half moon pose. And then square your hips off to the mat. Each time, can you get a little stronger, a little more active in the pose? And especially as the hips square back down to the mat, can you move with a little more control? Try to take a couple more, and if you come out of it or lose your balance, that's okay. Okay. When you feel like you're finished your last one, square your hips and return your right foot to the mat. Stand tall in Tadasana. Hopefully you feel awake through both sides of the pelvis. Maybe you noticed through this practice one side feels more disconnected than the other. And hold no judgment to it. So spread all 10 toes wide. Wake up your legs here. See if you can feel as your feet press down. Maybe your thighs feel like they're lifting up. And then feel tall, like there's a string pulling the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed here. Inhale, arms can reach up. You can look up. We'll take one final flow here. Fold over your legs. Exhale, empty your lungs. Heart forward. Breathe in. Get long to your spine. Step back to plank. Breathe out. Take a full inhale in plank. Lower chaturanga or to your belly as you exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your thighs. Firm your glutes. Downward facing dog as you exhale, empty your lungs. And you're welcome to take pigeon here. Lift your right leg as you inhale. Bring your right knee to your outer right wrist as you exhale. Okay, if you want to take deer, you're welcome to take deer or figure four. Okay, you can throw a block or support under the outer right hip or thigh. You can stay tall. You can even stay a little more active by gently grounding your right shin down into your mat. Or if you want to take the sleeping variation, you're welcome to. Okay, so we're going to start to just cool things down, slow things down a little bit. We're not going to spend too much longer here. Just enjoy about 3 more breaths. If you're all the way down, plant your hands and bring your torso back up. If you have a prop, just ditch it. Tip over onto your right hip and swing your left leg forward. Okay, so right foot should be to the inside of your left inner thigh. We're going to take a little side bend. So bring your left forearm to your inner left leg, right hand to your right hip. Open your chest up towards the right. So use that resistance of your arm into your leg into your arm to help turn the ribs open. Option to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe you bring your right hand to the back of your head. You just feel a nice stretch through the right side as you keep your right sit bone rooted down. Each inhale, Try to find a bit of length to the low back. Each exhale, feel the left ribs almost wrapping under the right. Final breath in to enjoy the stretch. Use your inhale, come back up to a tall spine. As you exhale, plant your right hand behind you. So your right fingertips point away from your body. Press into your right shin and your left foot, joy pose, lift your hips up. You can look back towards your left fingertips. Just like we've been working, firm your glutes. See if you can feel the stretch through the front of the hips. Good. And then lower your butt down. You can cross your shins, plant your hands, downward facing dog. The option for pigeon on this side, lift your left leg as you inhale. Left knee to your left wrist as you exhale. Any other variations? So if you want to make this a little more work for the left glute, press your left shin towards your mat. Think of hugging the left hip back. And as we've been cooling down here, if you start to notice you're still holding on to a Ujjayi breath, find a more cooling breath. You can let a few exhales go out the mouth and just let the constriction relax now through the back of the throat. Last 2 breaths on this side. If you're in a sleeping variation, plant your hands to bring your torso back up. You tip over towards your left hip, swing your right leg forward and wide. Left foot to the inner right thigh. You can always have a block too, I should have mentioned, if you need a little prop up of your pelvis to hinge forward. We'll get to all that in the seated postures in a couple weeks. So right forearm to the inner right leg, left hand to the left hip. You start to use your resistance first. See if you can find the rotation of your chest opening towards the left. Very similar to like triangle pose or extended side angle. If you need a little more, you can see how it feels to reach the left arm to the ceiling or left hand behind the head. And just full deep breath into the left side body, into the area of the obliques, the QLs. Kind of that continuation of stabilizers that we were working on through the hips and glutes. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And can you keep the left sit bone rooted? Sometimes that's all you need to do to keep the stretch. I'm feeling a little more active. And when you're ready, inhale, come on back up. As you exhale, plant your left hand. So again, left fingertips point away from you. Joy pose, left shin down, right foot presses. Reach the sacrum towards your heels. Reach your fingertips to the wall you're looking at. Last breath. And then slowly lower your hips down to your mat. And find a seated position. So legs straight. If you want, you can take your foam chip block and sit on it. If you know forward folds aren't your jam and you find you round the low back more than hinge the pelvis forward. All right, so legs straight. You can even keep a little bend to your knees. So find the little scoop of the low back. Really think of your pelvis tipping forward to initiate. You reach your arms up, inhale. Hinge over your legs as you exhale, so you can either reach towards the outer shins. Maybe you can find the feet. But try to keep the legs active here to start, as if you were standing on the floor. Your gaze can be down. And try to breathe into the backs of your legs. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit more. Try to maintain the hinge through the hips. So you almost might feel the ribs grazing the thighs. Let's take 3 more breaths here. If it gets intense, just back out a little bit. Try to maintain this active forward fold. Lift your head, look towards your feet as you inhale. Exhale, rise up. Slide your butt forward and lay onto your back. Okay, when you get on your back, just keep your knees bent. Let your knees knock in towards one another. Okay, take your arms into a cactus or a T shape. And we're just going to go through some sloppy twists here to finish. So go ahead, let your knees fall towards your right. You might feel this one a little more through like the area of the TFL, through the left side of the hip flexors. You will hold here if you want. Option to hook your right ankle above your left knee for a little extra weight to stretch the front of the left hip. If that bothers the knee, then don't do it. Option to gaze over your left shoulder. And see if you can take your biggest inhale yet of your day to fill your belly, to fill your whole chest cavity. Your longest exhale yet of your day. And if you want to, or if you have it, unhook your right ankle. Bring your knees back to center. So feet stay wide. And let your knees fall to the left. So sloppy twist, same on the left side. This might be a good place to stay. If you want the little bit of extra weight to stretch, hook your left ankle above the right knee. And the option to look over your right shoulder. Feel the rise and fall of your belly and just notice how each time that movement slows down a little bit. Where can you let go? Physical tension. With your next breath. If you have your ankle, uncross it. Bring your knees back through center. Realign your spine if it's shifted.